The show is born. Ekosiisen live. Yada munyana Simon munyana Akwaba eba Asempa FM. So it's the midweek edition of the show. Today is Wednesday, the 3rd day of February 2021. Live from our national studios at 355 Fanofa Street in Kokomlemle. And it's a word we've been struggling with. It's a Fanofa. Fanofa Street in Kokomlemle, Accra. Say enene de di kanya wutie ya yada se ema wakwaba eba Ekosiisen dwumedie yi eso. Our show is live on a number of affiliate radio stations, over a dozen of them here in Ghana, from Tamale to Bibiani in the Western North region. Stations are hodwana na efa in dwumedie yeda munyina ase amanone so stations no edorson online oko myjoyonline.com adomonline.com obetimetie yen ewo ho sound so and on Facebook. You can follow us on Facebook and watch our live streaming on Facebook as well in the facebook.com/asempa 94.7 FM. sound so and our Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter as well, and then on YouTube. And so, ubetimi ashe yinjumedie live ewo YouTube. Yada munyana ase emma munyana akwaba. Let me share with you our WhatsApp line. It's very important. This is an interactive show. In the day, I would love to hear from you. So please keep the messages coming through. 0546 382 287 0546 382 287. Come through with the messages. Don't be a passive listener, be an active one. Share your thoughts. The world is listening. Enti yadamunyana ase bio. And then same go up also. The Supreme Court sat today as well. In some Bakumi Nubi consider it was that motion before the court. Say petition no per se Ninsaka document be from the first respondent head the Electoral Commission. Enra ye kind that motion and in semua a womb Emma Muhu exactly document na petitioner no epe. And the Supreme Court one argument first respondent lawyer and so an argument, second respondent lawyer and so an argument, and a court and rise a by or by now the ruling of the court now a unanimous decision said the application has been dismissed. A moon seminar and what will be the implications of such ruling way on the rest of the case. And you be in Hong Kong, Joseph Akable will join us now. We're boying in Chiremudi course so our court, and I'll be speaking to some private legal practitioners and lawyers from both sides. Now, Yashasa de Nyoma AC Eko and the apex court of our land. But it was an interesting day in court, and wow, utimi etie wa Sempa FM utimi sharing ewa Dum TV etie wa Dum FM no yeda munyina as. Let me thank our listeners, especially more sharing with Facebook Live. But before that, a birthday, Emma, a title will be a way I was said, yeah, first acquaintance showing in Munyam. It's very, very important. Bible cries we should give honor to who honor is due. And today happens to be the birthday of the Member of Parliament for the Wutu Senya East constituency, the Minister of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development designate, Honorable Hawa Kumsin. Happy birthday to you, Honorable. Live to be 94.7 and beyond. Honorable Hawa Kumsin, MP Wutu Senya East, former minister in charge of special development initiatives and a minister designate fisheries and aquaculture development. Happy birthday to you. Let me say a special greetings to Lord Kumi Justice Okanta. Hey. Lord Kumi Justice Okanta. You're head of payroll YEA. That's the Youth Employment Agency. You're an ardent listener of Ekosiisen. Greater work you'll do. And we wish you God's blessings. Way Ifri, Miyama Damfo, Alex Martins, no Koforidia, going out to you, Lord Kumi Justice Okanta, head of payroll YEA. It's your birthday as well, George Sapon. Happy birthday to you. May God bless you greatly. This is from McLean Desmond. It was Seshioso. That's the Western North Regional Capital. Na me ama sorry so for my baako edi na woda and we are so for my make say pa and you also from Mami Rosemary or say so from Mami Rosemary or say and to Oba Ekosiisen production team na Jackson or say in Tia Mami and Jackson is so for ba and ne Mami so from Mami Rosemary or say with a happy birthday. The message from him is happy birthday to my sweet mom or so from Mami Rosemary or say all I ask for you is more years with good health even as you celebrate yet another milestone today. I love you, mom. And that's from Jackson or say in Tiamoa to his mom or so from Mami Rosemary or say it's also your birthday, Sheila Safwa of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice. I wish you a very happy birthday and wish to tell you the secret to success on your special day. People achieve only what they deserve and deserve only what they achieve. Always remember your success depends on you and you alone. Enjoy your day. It's from Oheneba Kwame Jr., NPP organizer of South Korea. To you, Sheila Safwa of Shraj. Happy birthday. And this one says, good afternoon, Obi. Please wish Mrs. Akofa Dakwa, Executive Head Risk Management at the Bank of Africa, a very big good afternoon. That's from the great prophet of Bubuashi. To you, Mrs. Akofa Dakwa, or Bank of Africa. And there's one here which says, kindly wish my brother and a friend Elikblim Lolomava Agbemava. Fantastic. Elikblim Lolomava Agbemava. It's your birthday today. This is from your mother Florence Mawuli Agbemava and all your cherished siblings. Going out to you, Elikblim Lolomava Agbemava. Happy birthday. But and now some cassette to be brina and they do on a water and Oba Asempa FM ha. Your head of sports. A Professor Enoch Kwesi Walanyo Wallace. No, Wallace, way too much. Udin Professor Enoch Kwesi Walanyo Wallace. Happy birthday to you. Head of Sport Asempa FM, Adom FM, Adom TV. Professor E.K. Wallace, happy birthday. Live to be 94.7 and beyond. You're a great man. You're a big man. Happy birthday. But and then so-called Parliament, the leader of the majority group in Parliament and Minister Designate Parliamentary Affairs, the Honourable Osei Mensa Bunsu, Oko Ashanti Regional Swami constituency, or no, any member of Parliament, any or non Swawada. And a happy birthday to you, the Honourable Osei Mensa Bunsu. Live to be 94.7 and continue to impact your generation with success. Happy birthday. Into loads and loads of birthday messages coming through. Happy birthday to my youth organizer for Asante Akim Central, that's Konongo, Eric Osei Boateng. Thanks for being a brother. Way Efri Onassis Kobiho Eko Emma Asante Akim Central youth organizer Eric Osei Boateng and your youth organizer of the NDC. Happy birthday to you. And this one says, please wish my business partner, Martina Kujo of the Forestry Commission, a happy birthday. Inti Martina Kujo or Forestry Commission, happy birthday to you. And this is from your business partner to you. Okay, the Sampine, so say happy birthday to Honorable Howard Kumsin and also Chairman Sabonso. That's from Sampine, Regional Secretary of the NPP in the Ashanti region. This one says, Obi, kindly bless Mrs. Akosua Menu of the National Youth Authority for a kind gesture to my son, Farouk in Tema. Farouk, I hear you. Akosua Menu or National Youth Authority. Akosua Menu is a good person. Really, really good person. Akosua, good afternoon to you. I'm told today is the birthday of Her Ladyship Justice Rebecca Na Shome Sitie. Okay, I hope I got the name right. Justice Rebecca Na Shome Sitie Justice of the High Court, General Jurisdiction Division, enjoy the Lord's favor now and forevermore. We free Fifi Adewu, Eko Emma, her ladyship, Justice Rebecca Nashome Sitie, Justice of the High Court. Happy birthday.
Asempa FM. Asempa FM.
And here in Che, you Supreme Court now and the course who honor ya share edia to manim ma memfast da emma yaboa for more so na same year the Ekosiisen Breminti. Apart from the great work of the production team, we are sponsored, on our show. And for the various segments of this show, Sounds of Our Time, here some segment. Your one-on-one interviews are the Bremen interviews are here on trending issues, and after a discussion segment, every segment is heavily sponsored. I'll come back and tell you more about our sponsors, but first, my name is Joseph Opoku, Monsieur Opoku Gakpo, Joseph Akable, any Enkomo Parliament, Yeko Supreme Court. Joseph Akable, Akwaba na pom to saying. Ekoye. Yes. And the Supreme Court and pound him 20 me I can who dream early enough. But and the minimum sena a one item agenda, a motion from the petitioner say court no eshe easy na easy amount document be. What was Enra started saying possible reasons why petitioner ni ebusa for sa document no, but lead counsel ejina na nine so for close to 1 hour argue why they need those documents in some important okay.
Since some people escort now in the course of the proceedings, I might discover say there are instances in some areas you have 2 picks for those areas, but they have different results. And the reference was made to the Eastern region, Obekaya, and Brianna, Yora Johnson, the Sydney Ketia, more than a cross examination. And they told just there was one summary sheet that had a yes one included and one did not have it. And so, since the Electoral Commission is the institution that is mandated to have lawful custody of such documents, and the woman here said, in the circumstances, there is doubt about some of the figures that were relied upon to declare the results now. And the court for them can say, I'm going to inspect original copies now. I'm going to compare the wanted to know the base upon which the Electoral Commission declared the presidential results. After you're making reference to the 2012-2013 decision, the court that spoke to Justice of Adenira and Ryan Commando Craft, what kind of that particular decision. Now, or making a distinction, also in law, say there are instances there's a precedent, but you can urge the court by showing that the circumstances are different from this particular instance. To the point I'm making is over 2012-2013 case now. In that particular instance, and that petitioners they started by submitting about 4,000 plus pink sheets from various polling stations. And then no mudina so kase omunka votes bim na court ning hold this and another uncle for the win elections na John Mahama. It's in the argument let's say in that particular instance there were documents that were given to the court by the petitioners to make a case for why something should be done. And so if the same petitioners turn around to now ask to see original copies, the court was right in denying them the request. I think in this particular instance, more far documents by way of the summary and collation sheet and by that court Nakachi to doubt. They are simply saying that we are relying on the declaration that you did. We've calculated per the declaration that you did, and we've realized that no one had more than 50% of the votes cast. We've now discovered in the course of a year cross examination, it's a figures near different. And we should be allowed to take a look at the original documents in your custody. It was at that point now, a justice of the Supreme Court, Gertrude Toko, will be a question, say, if they see the original copies now, I'm going to be heading. And Mr. Tikata responded, I'm going to compare the ones that they have in their custody. And I'll say, that's the question that she wants to ask. And so that was the argument Mr. Chikata advancing in summary.
And in fact, Enrano, lawyers on the other side, Emma Hint, said they would oppose that particular application. And then Omunya Akwan to also state their reasons for the opposition. Beginning with first respondent, lawyer Neka said the reason is saying here, on so say for document, Nema petitioner.
The other kind of Kasai about the time this request is being made. No, or Trema and Branama say a 2 abaniwia within 21 days. No, over to me at the case Aberdeen court. No, say until one say. I think within that 21 days, no man make any such request. After I'm filing petition now, yeah, what day 34. No, after I'm able to place such a request into, did say time no, and boy a court no already court indicated say or pretty under CI 99, which calls for an expeditious hearing of an election petition. And then the first point I'm making. The second point I'm making was to the effect that these are documents, they are in the custody of the petitioner, and that in fact the petitioner's own witness in the course of cross-examination had admitted to the fact that he had these documents in his custody. And no more making point in say court no ebema order say omonfa documents in the person who is taking the request for the documents has admitted in open court that he has those documents. And so that was the argument electoral commission lawyers were making.
And lawyer Akutrampa also saw original and nine so and so oppose by on my reasons and not on the reasons in the saying.
So in addition to the point if you lawyer no making on also found relating to the burden of proof, and the point of making is all the aspects now make a certain allegation say abani to be more than 50%. When a burden of proof now provided evidence to show. I think this particular instance, the petitioner and far evidence in the form of documents and by in court, even though say or Mankasa admitting in the course of examination that these are documents in their custody, and to say if the court should allow for the inspection of the documents, then they just said the court is shifting the burden of proving the petitioner's case from the petitioner to the respondent, in that the petitioner has not brought his evidence to back his case, yet he wants the respondents to provide documents which will inure to the benefit of the petitioner's case. And that was the first point that he made. He now drew the court's attention to his 2012 2013 decision to argue that the circumstances are not any different. And back then, the court did indicate that the woman here and now the almost share of Mordecai among granted that request has to do with that a case for it being necessary has not been made. And I'll make the argument and say in this particular instance the petitioner according to Mr. Kotampa on file documents and by calculations and car say make it come in the documents the boom and yet carbon copy now on the man. It doesn't appear that was what they relied upon to declare the results. And so because of that discrepancy give me the opportunity to inspect the documents in the custody of the EC to enable me decide whether or not it's the same document of the carbon copy the man and on use to declare results now. And then the point Mr. Kuchampa making.
Okay, and that's interesting. I remember so in reading Justice Sophia Adinyera ruling or cited the point about admissibility, say even the carbon copies are admissible according to the Evidence Act. And interestingly, after justices arise ekobaye omobaye na ruling the president of the panel deliver a ruling and that ruling ni jina nioma be mienu miensa so na den
the Edikan court making the point that in granting such request it's worth noting that it's a discretionary power, so it's not as of right. Any situation and one say we make it request now because we make a request the amount. Or say court assess you on a case by case basis and come to a conclusion whether or not you are entitled to the request you are making. So that was the first point that the court indicated say in the course of proceedings, witness of the petitioner has admitted to the fact that the documents are in their custody, i.e. they have the carbon copies of those documents. And the court saying the circumstances, the petitioner has failed to demonstrate the necessity to urge the court to warrant it to grant or exercise its discretion to allow for the inspection of those documents. And in the circumstance, and the court like I say, or dismiss this particular request. Now the reason is that there are documents in the custody of the petitioner. It's required by law that they have those documents, and they have not denied not having those documents, and their failure to demonstrate why this document is necessary. Document inspection way and take place.
Okay. No ekoko gua court ni deliver ni ruling wie and lawyer Chachuchi Kata signs original and I so can say there is another application and on a application being
the other here in summary and they say or say the omo adansi DNA bia or some of friend, but due to some circumstances and relating to health issues means omun to me and man in back court now on a court ni bisa say must file a sign upon witness statement and okay say there be na so chiremwa court
Ekosiisen on Asempa
as to why or kasa assembly hinti or some going to chambers no omoko having this issue addressed. And see, the court took a short break. Omoko into chambers. Omoba back,
in the Omoko chambers, no money lead counsels need another call.
Yes, just the lead counsel.
Lead counsels, no. Okay.
Tampa for President Akufo-Addo, Justin Amenuvo for the Trial Commission, and I say Church Tikasa, the petitioner.
Okay.
Omoko into chambers, back, and activities, no. And not say the proceedings, no, it's adjourned to Friday. And no one the kind see as to what is the business of the day on Friday and to see I'm not in
the Friday and they say about quarter you name agenda for that day wanka
there be wanka
but still no Jean Mensah is here to mount the box Sansona Peter McMahon is here to mount the box mewa
Pepe.
Wow and now me person me clarify with so share Supreme Court ruling on our request for documents now. And yeah, say more share on Facebook, no ubehu pictures of the course or court. Lawyer Samijem Samijem visit your back court more than lawyers no air back court and will be a pictures I try any videos nibi a go Facebook sisi a oba obehu electoral commission chairperson bano ne soldier for na di na chi ni bibia obehu lawyers nibi books e kura omo esewani ensa wo catch ni nyina no obehu pictures na as we move on. But Joseph Nambi say so hwe court ni ruling on our request for document now omo be seen on the need say a need was not established and number one. Number two so when they say omo witnesses nankasa admit under oath say document ni nyina omo wo copies wo hodada meboa
sa pepe
enti the fact say na chachuwe ka say yes ebia your document no but we would need ECD because yenfa document bi ama how we are basing everything on declaration na EC boss nankasa eyeye enti who declaration na we na challenge document we just the declarations no ma yenhwe na yenso yentimi compare. The court thought that argument did not make sense.
On Asempa FM.
The court did not agree with that particular argument, and our court said, as far as it's concerned, no, once they have admitted to having those documents and the fact that the law actually required that they are giving copies, no, and the court said that threshold is required to trigger its discretion to be exercised favorably to allow for those documents, to be inspected. Of course, they say more MBT, NT, okay.
Now, when your idea be listening around near the witness portia petition as a person more than a bar or say because of some classified info and come up in camera hearings. When your idea who that person might be.
Yeah, idea, but we understand the main problem, was the issues relating to the witnesses' ability to be present to testify.
Okay.
And that is what necessitated.
Not just a Nehon said down fan and you want to me my court.
Well, he said health issues.
Health issues, okay.
Yes. That is all we know for now. We don't even know whether that request was granted or not.
Mm-hmm.
And for now, share
Friday.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Okay. One other thing, so let's say timetable now. Now it was a trial not lasted for 6 days. Meboa.
That's perfect.
And now you shall see actual trial now say last Friday. And yeah, Friday, right?
Yes.
Friday, so we were working days into Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Wednesday. That's just 4 days, no. And he said, yet not say Friday. What it means is by next Monday, not 6 days, not so.
Sharp pepper.
By the discretion of the court, no bit may extend it.
In terms of the process, media with the CI 99. They are indicating in also to ensure by the 42nd day, judgment would have been
judgment.
We do not know how all these developments jeopardizes that particular directive. Yes, we know that the court can extend because even in terms of the pre-trial on the crampon, they were allowed to have at least about 5 days, but more we are there 2 days. And so the court has the right in terms of management of the case on how it proceeds. But the main challenge now, honestly, we need to, with all these expenses and grants, and whether they will end up falling within the 42 days to ensure that by the 42nd day, judgments would have been rendered.
Wow. My young fancy na nase. Baba, is there a reason why Omontana or China?
No reason was given. In fact,
okay.
In that request was made that Ombeto have a discussion in chambers. Announcement on the brain, and it's a
Friday.
To Friday. We don't know what the business of the day is on Friday. We don't know whether the request about the witness has been granted or not.
Okay. Wow. Interestingly, Enra, na who's a lawyer Kojoga Daudu Baha. We were asking, I mean, sir, so share the witness statement a year Pesa White at the core and cross-examination of course. So now it turned out sir, a lot of the things that happened in the strong room, the main player involved was Rojo Metal, into about certifying the forms and if you region but on the certifier, the alleged conversation between the chairperson and the Omumu team, Rojo Metal and AD and community. I remember saying Mibusa Kojoga Daudu said, so why was Rojo rather not the second witness? Emoka said, I say Rojo neho enshada emfa papa ene ade enunti ena omo amfa no ama omoma Pesa White ebaye enti I don't know how it connects with ene the chachunso e kan say nipa krono mpeso omo de ne ba na on health grounds. If that person might be Rojo, we don't know, but we would wait and see Friday the ABC. Why? Great. And the baby any ebesi edi nkomobio. Yada ase hwe ho ye. Why? Great. Joseph Akable and Moten Kanoye court correspondent. He is arguably the best court correspondent in our country at the moment. No doubt about that one. And Joseph Akable, congratulations and kudos for the good job done. Ekosiisen ne higher Asempa FM. Enti obehwe pictures na lawyer Ejudi Tamaklo ene Sami Jemfimo mahu lawyer Gabi Asayotre da kon ene Frank Davis, the national chairman of the NPP, Freddie Blay, and electoral commission chairperson, and also a lawyer. And I'm told, say, or no graduate from, and she was called to the bar in the year 1999. Wow, that's a I practice here. Okay, that's Sylvia and lawyer Samije. Over Facebook, I'll be all these pictures, our Facebook, Asempa 94.7 FM, your page, our Facebook. There are still some wishes to some people. We say, Obi, help me wish my seniors, Dr. Benny and Beko, my mate Frank Boateng and Patrick Ade, God's guidance and protection as they celebrate their birthdays today. They are all product of Twase Secondary School. Wow. And Dr. Serebo of the Electoral Commission, only a director electoral services at the EC, and Eddie message about into Dr. Benny and Beko. Happy birthday to both of you. And Onoani mate, Dr. Serebo mate, Frank Boateng and Patrick Ade. So happy birthday to both of you. Muninamu a product of Twase Secondary School. Twase Secondary School, Ashanti region in Carrier area, hono more. Munim hono obi ho said the neoma a city. Where's the Obi? We are happy and content with proceedings today. The dismissed application is another testament that the second respondent has a venerable counsel in his corner. He makes thoughtful and coherent argument anytime he's on his feet. Props to lawyer Akoto Ampao. God bless Nanado. Prince Odeneho Opong and Ediwe Abba. We say, Obi, please, at which point did the NDC know that the EC wasn't credible? Was it when the NDC told the world that they had won, or it was when the EC declared NPP the winner of the 2020 election? NDC is just amazing anyway. John Bat Ado is in Ohio, US of A. And he has come through with this one. Good afternoon, senior. So are we to assume that the NDC failed to compile their documents before going to court? Why are they doing this to their followers? This agenda isn't going to wash, so they must withdraw their petition to save their sinking reputation. Or say hope in Pope for National Youth Organizer, Francis Ewo Cape Coast, and Ono Ediwe Abrain. Ma menkwa homane starting spokespersons of both sides in income. I shall share with the second respondent, the spokesperson back, the Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, Minister Designate Information. Kojo Akwabana apom to saying. Yeah, me adom. Yansu yahu ya papa. Enra court arise, you know. We all knew say court science nasia. There is an application before the court. Petitioners need a seeking leave of the court to get some documents from the Electoral Commission. Argument in the course when and all of that, and a court need one ruling by. For more second respondent, you were opposed to the application in the first place. Ruling no satisfactory, mama.
In fact, ruling no corresponded in our view to Emrano 100%. And Emrano na yesu yina so ye opposition. Mayenko etikakra. I didn't think you were court. You were court in Yura John Dramani Mahama Mampeni Dada Ako petition court say Abana ye to December 7, 2020 no. Ubia enwene oke kan ba no bomu an. Ubia enwene. Inti yenkoto aba no foforo. Na sem no ni people pa no. So ubia enwene.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
And I okay can banu see any be more than 50%. And on a debia meno kata me kaise yen kaise we are different from the omokachiro supporters. Say ome wini no be person we are inti supporters no inti krum a supporters titi krum demonstration or force tie be money police for me and tawani ade. And now, master mom, their back court, this will be a winning. Court say no problem. Until we dance for or mono be their dance, their church will be a winning no more. Or see me wa dance for noon. On baby their dance, their church will be a winning. Their body and cotton for. Ye be seen kunya can't tell me. They be a cockota, na Ira Mahama lawyer. Or the friend of Emremo interlocutory application, be there between Finfian. Actually, as them no quality, my acquire my aim to me and Casa Balancata. And then, not the application we about now, not the interlocutory application we about the okay, the name as American, the delay tactics no mobile. It's say, some pass will be and we near Bana. No more than the phone, no more bachelors will be and we near Bana. Or Mumbe proven in tem. My young winning.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Yanko to Aban for front them. Say Ampany Ampa Yana Nado the winning And if a man at Jubilee House, not saying that generally meant or you are brand new no winning here. To proven in 10 million and application or application MY. Court, every more and a court 30 issues. Say one of the issues is a young company and power be 50%. Young say declaration in breach of Article 63 among a few other issues. And the Nancy Temuna, the dance in you decline, Yura Johnson as you don't get here. Ebetna da kanim. Oba bi a dance ya trese, ubia enya 50% plus 1. Nti ampa obi enwe nti abane enko to no foforo. Nso Yura as you don't get here betna box no mo no. Ye de calculator share ni nsa no. Various scenarios, ukase general bobo. Obubo abana ABC Mahama 47%, Akufo-Addo 51.2. Udi Techiman South Kahwa Mahama 47, Akufo-Addo 51.2. Uyi Techiman South Mahama 47, Akufo-Addo 51.2. Ufa original declaration and offer valid votes now Kekambomwa Uria Mahama 47%, Akufo-Addo 51.2.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Adepa na nyina ye hwe anim say Yura as you don't get ya be prove so be nya 51 and that's a 50% plus no oba ya bread the calculator share nka no obobo 4751 if I ekran put a point me wonder say the lawyer for the calculator be man no na calculate bibia enu sa 50% na but ye hu sa that toso no mo dey ora Michael Pesa White e buy obin for Michael Pesa White say oba bibia dance there and him say dance oba bibia o ma say mom dey about obi en win no eno ho dance na oba bibia Ira Pesa White bet na adaka ne mo a na sempa ne say oba penny Jean Mensa da ono any regiment no no say omo fi easy headquarters omo fi ho no e no bobo result no asemi ayo bia na kakra isan say abani ato no polling station ema polling agents asensan ama constituency level ama constituency representatives asensan ama regional level ama regional representatives asensan ama bedu national ena yakeka bom abose na nado anya 51.2 Mahama anya 47%
on Asempa FM.
Ena mo say anya correct no be enwini ti wo be prove a wo say dimension da wo say PF isi ho nti went to me anya due diligence nti eno na kire say and I mean eno ne mo evidence am de back court ana nti at a point obehwa Sheshi ana lawyer Kotampa ebita Dr. Pesa White say una o say oba penny dimension shell I was instructed say court now only era Mahama kokata medisi wani wo court yeni what can evidence here do sa so bible medisi wani say nya no press o to me bia say obesha o sefi ho o say ampa oni to me so obesha me say feel abra judges need this question no judges need this and say abanse na mo mienu nyina mo fi ho bia mo se etun mu mo mienu nyina mo fi ho na nka mo nya ba akokra mpo ho se nkoma na no mo kodi no na o so mo mienu nyina na ekọ na ba ko anka bibia ba ko akai no fata mo mba abontin be press conference ne de mo the expression we ba am say to fill in the gaps tianunti na omo efi coalition
Ekosiisen
national
on
coalition
Asempa FM.
Edu baby na you request why say wo problem cry bibia ni krata no so a wo problem na yeye and so you go here mrani mo you go here from 13 no any atwa no anya no kre column ho out to be two reasons nti ono so ntumi amam be prove so obi enwini aba no tie na ye ba no among other things na ehwe ni say dia omo do witnesses 3 na aka no ombe ba na omo so be prove because first two no dey say down proof no nti dia aka no be ba
na so omo ntumi inform ma abro omo file a witness statement dia na
well any a different matter
okay
una will be case nti who case na una wo say wo petition no be enwini na wa dance for numa e be kire so bia enwini
yeah
nti una wo frɛ wa dance for so we decided say a dance for no instead of 5 no the 2 pen e be ba and they wasem or the 3 and 4 and now the 5 nearby or the 1 crown e be ba e wasem you conduct your case as you see fit Tenaya kono, bibinia, ka witnesses na kan, miasa na kan, de ombeba. Mama be proved to be winning. And by the way, being winning is different from Ira Jomama winning or a president elect. Thomas Somano. How they be that at play?
Ekosiisen
We
on
know
Asempa FM.
Na coin no muko move application so person ko inspected documents. Then documents, or man listed documents no. Now, no application for inspection of documents. And you're right, I will. Most records and say court no emma instructions there. You have documents in the mount inspected. The court be mount sa kwenya na. I was so demonstrating at the arbitrary court to say. And who here says our documents where we are peri enye etuma. It is necessary to inspect those documents for the fair disposal of the matter. One kwan koshe sa documents na court no into me and custom no e wo peri ye kwan so mane nye. And I say bia e boama cost of litigation abafom. Lawyer Penny ayi nyina yibu no Racha Chitikata. Kasa be don hwere baako no tries or bet is necessary. And I say bia the cost of litigation be bafom. We here that's the menuvo. No. We na lawyer ko tampa so no. Titiru mo no. Hello Obi.
Ko don't meet you pa.
Aha, titiru mo.
Yes.
Petition and lawyers aim to improve
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Sankrata kono ya mo man ko hwa periperi enyi. Na semo a isi lawyer ni yen lawyer kan say sankrata na oka ni na wo ne ho. O sankrata ni na wo kan CI 127 regulation 44 sub regulation 7 a set out forms ni na essentially yen fa mobia. At no material time in the pleadings abc ne e no maka tren so mo sanka forms no da. Omusa kasa documents ni nara. Emrano so train wo kan section 166 Terms of Evidence Act. Emrano train say wo duplicator it is original na. The court no be duplicate in the ayeduma. Nti wo duplicate no. Duplicate ni say original no. Won kan kire court no say wo ni document no. Wo buy no so won kire say bi crampo a BB ekochema wo duplicate na wo no ho na ma wada otinti wo pese wo kohwe original no un demonstrate here no na wo ba sa be ka se yinya de yinya na enkofa sa document ni na mbra na hwemu a court no be ka cho say un demonstrate necessity iti court ti o nyina wie na court say wo mun demonstrate necessity for fair disposal of the matter. Omun tre kwan answer sankrata na
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Yamfa nkrata no originals na mekere omo a asem no ye koso a periperi ye enyi esan se omo won krata ni na adeda pachoti mi o ye nka se ye mo hwe nkrata bi keke se information bi o wa eni so omunya o court asem ne se omo won krata ni na adeda omo demonstrate di ntia ensan ko bi ada ka so mo ko hwe ba ko na wo ho no ye cry asem ba ko e kan ne se omo pe kwan shifted the burden of proof onto the respondents. Because one of the was my backcourt, one anka would on crata abeba say, mean crata any, sending a idea pink sheet coin. Me pink sheet me, and it be a easy ekan, a boy bra, figures no, and yet the seed. Maybe the idea easy can different. Me person inspect easy then. Oh, by bizarre results, no pink sheet near the one. Oh, document no one kasa or document no would a be attach or petition and witness statement. I won't country be as a would need document no. Is a no banaka say nya bibia na nkonko fasa document ne ma un demonstrate necessity no un sign so interest say questions with authenticity. There are no issues of authenticity.
Yeah, but how about the point, sir? Could you say omu case no based on the declaration? Utie lawyer Chachua the different figures ababeto dwa ni nyina total number of valid vote cast. And Obusa say why the changing figures? Enti the source document is needing sa changing figures no. And komo mu nyina enye den entumi enhu bi because omo ama court said petitioners in 2012 no eba court no omo de no enye challenging pink sheet and numbers at polling so omo de any declaration. And what did you base the declaration on? Sa document na wahin mayenso yenhu bi.
No say isi oba penny be na doc ni mu a utumi bisa no why the changing figures.
Asempa FM.
So so person we inspect documents. Obi nyame na make count. And any lawyer for the petition no be can.
Yeah.
Emlanet that one say it was so demonstrate necessity for the fair disposal of the matter. At the time our documents ni Arabic from polling station ababedu so. One demonstrate say there's a document you don't have. Until you can say pleadings no way really lawyer be say pleadings critical. A bit me ama case na year and I say case na durable. Pleadings me patcho kind of pleadings no hu baby na almost say copies now or more no any originals no almost suspect the difference one
no any pleadings name no
bibi omo ka so omo question authenticity of any of these documents
no
baby omo ka say omo in any of their pleadings omo ka say omo sanka documents ni bia na any ti say ne wo bana so be ka say yemma nkonko originals na when at all material times one kasa wa admit say wo documents no na wo di ebi attach they are offering samples what they attach with documentation or the buyer won't fulfill legal threshold no sebe any the minister ye support penny be na ye cassette open bio asem na ye kan mra ho asem na ye kan law so but now say bia wo say open and say bia you are moving a motion say court issue certiorari to quash the decision of a lower court and I say a lower body your legal standard sabianya do nyesa obeka se ena asem na nyame de ena no pa no kra ye ba no na we ni ho ena wia no na we emra na hihye de wo se wo miti ena na me ka kire o se emra da wo se wo kwa himfi akoka asase ho asem wa de snap ni otwan fita na kwa untumi emfa bottle baako ena onsa pan enko se me koka asase ho asem na no be ka kire o se you have not invoked our jurisdiction. Emrano, it was standard, it was threshold, it was a meeting. It is Emrano standard, they say, demonstrating necessity for the fair disposal of the matter. Now, one demonstrating now, Becky can somehow do different, someone who meets standard. No. Last week, we said, you know, court. No, monsieur, leave to file supplementary. Leave to file supplementary. Meba ho ba could be crampa the buy leave for interrogatories.
Yes.
Buy so kasa be the questions be bri attach here. Emrane say answer me budget interrogatories atumo no. Demonstrating relevance to the issues at that court name. Would the ultimate list questions 100? Would you also say our questions no here? But the one demonstrating relevance to the issues that were Emrani account yem fem mount. And you know, for the various hours I near or normal can almost be brave. But a man demonstrating necessity for fair disposal of the matter because pink sheets nara. So back here at you don't get your press conference. Or see your pink sheets nina. You're warning nara. Ya kika boom, no, you're winning.
Yen scenario we. Okay.
The thing sheet no ebi. Attach on document. Omo the original collation sheet no be attach. Omo can da say omo need document ni bi. Ti say na oba na fi uka say yen jai ni ko bi ada kan so ma onko hwe document no original na. Emra ne say photocopy ni crown no any original ni yepe. I just all demonstrate say be questions of authenticity and now say it's necessary for the fair disposal of the matter.
A scenario say maybe say Jean Mensa about witness box name. Na lawyer Tatuse Kata air cross examine no. Na ebia wafa omo pink sheet and now say summary collation sheet for constituency. EC Emma on duplicate. No the actual Jean Mensa say can you identify this document? That's a Jean kase unim sa document we are. What then happens? Then Chachu would be left in limbo.
First of all, there was a sad document, you know.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Petitioner, no. And now witness, no.
Yes.
At the abet to court, what I say? It must be in evidence. Second, Sabria omo lead evidence in chief no. So the BBA by in evidence any correct only nipa obe objective to. Just na menu one be sorry first I say document we are or the about to we. Ye objective to it being accepted as an exhibit. Because it be a fabrication and it be a easy 1 year different. And I may also need a 1 year different. Any genuine document, raising question of authenticity and all of those things. Evidence document be anywhere or person or rely on or they are to court anymore. Yeah, objective to. But also trial no what follow.
Yeah.
On far document be to court anymore. Yeah, objective to say yeah, evidence. Into then document na or they be bar or bar penny men's and answer yeah side because as our document we are objecting. What then in the evidence we in fact the witness statement, any attachment, no the aba. The aba. Or will be beer or susu say and they making the case by now they are two. On fail to more other witnesses never ban. Say on the beba. But one to me be I say yeah, man, call inspect now. Come to more. Let's say why you be there by your case. Who back court now? Why your announcement? Who case out there? Into the who can be the ancient member minister by now no at the corner of or the bar. Ebi a jimen's and Becca's idea we onimuno. Bibia sensi. Among for evidence beyond beto wa may matter say easy objective to. In fact, yeah, the boy tape no more objective to say it's not in evidence. That rule now may apply. What is an evidence that is being contested?
Okay, in the former the Supreme Court ruling and then was appropriate, and that's what the law demands. Me who a post to be and answer a quote to be attributed to you a call viral on social media. I've seen a lot of people share that quote. My mention say Menya Akanya Wahidi or say our lawyers don't spend a long time speaking grammar. They use a short time to speak law. What has that?
Oh, okay. I know the answer to a question a journalist back will be say or press conference no.
Okay.
So what people now audience better. Journalist back will be say at the end of the say mo kasa as a time in Swamamu. But petition only lawyers or to me kasapa do have like a cononym. Munia Samakan na said they. And I'm responding say baby a court of law and a court of public opinion. It will ba who invoke law no. Semrano essay say ya yen kasanche. Ukuti mrano to now the authority at all. Now the fact na can say, my lord, CI 127 regulation 44. Sub regulations 7 to 11 say, I was a minsa capping sheets ni na. My lord, Mijina hey, minsa capping sheet way. And until me throw me pleadings ni mu, and I CI 47, I was a call me pleadings mu me dia shame. My lord, about witness statement, me witness odi kan buy and wabe say, ampeni ampaye and san kan. Inti enemi jina wenim asrese under CI 127 regulation 44 no. My instruction say easy and supply me with these documents. And application for inspection of originals. My easy supply me because my demonstrated from me pleadings and my witness statement say me in accordance with the CI 127 rule 44. As my can say about 2 minutes. Asempatia ukoti mran we kuti authority with the evidence account. Inti sebe enye say me kasa 1 hour no any court na argue no. And the best is, and I'm saying my example say, a da bar for application for interrogatories. No, so mukoti case be elistamakulu.
Yeah.
No mukoti Constitution NCI 47. After Kastani Nano, judges nipi by and almost say, ye issue with CI 47. Ye nima di kontia. Why you don't CI 47 because Obian disputed says CI 47 and yet Juma Supreme Court. And yet Juma Supreme Court. Interrogatories here granted a year. Name one of the rules, let's say also demonstrative relevance. Undemonstrative relevance to the issues at heart. Questions I will be some undemonstrative relevance. And you know we are doing it. To most any casano ɛna ɛbɛma sɛbe asɛm ne dia bo ɛyɛ mmara no ne wo evidence wo nyina so a wo de ba ma one last example nti wo bɛhwɛ a
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Councilor Kotampa or the question ba akopɛ ɛna ɔde tete Dr. Kwesa White testimony nyinaa who said Dr. Kwesa White then the testimony nyinaa ne sɛ Oba Penny Mensa instructed them so Monko any John Mahama nkodi nkomo Yewura John Mahama former president of the republic his excellency nkodi nkomo no mo call ye no na omo keka no be declare on their blind side okay say asem no
yeah make hyper
and no until no be 15 20 30 minutes and no was the government of the testimony no be enim say obedi adanse a kire say obi anya 50% obo buy na asem we no dey buy and we are just na maneuver and then call back and forth but Akotompa sorry and question back pet no bisa no say I put it to you that you know that the EC chair cannot instruct you to do a thing. Who's the first so start say Obeka Bofuna judges say answer question no say my lord that is correct. And no today say once some Obeka yin na say instruct not just na menuvo or said now pleadings sorry witness statements one can inspect who say we were asked now grandpa no mibisa who say one na nkasa na rojo na kasa na rojo be catcher or say ma me say ko na mu na mo ko na laptop amode adwuma ne ade nyina collective mu jari na ho na mo ko do say just and then call back and forth sheshe bisa no question back pe enti emrani mu no eni diem we ye kan nya se bia ye di pani bi atama na ye so pa pani bi ye wo lawyers impani for ye buom ye nyina ye hwe nim se that bi be nya be lawyers impani for to so mo na question na journalist ne bisa me asema na me trim answer me de mind say ye lawyers no nya kasa tintin no twifo se kasa tintin toponko who is kana na de ato no ato
Asempa FM.
emre mu no eye emra no nyina so this obana so say section 166 of evidence act no edana ye motion or parliament say Yewura Ayarga say aban and absorb tertiary institutions for school fees me say okay say
yeah
Kasano propaganda na MPP form tertiary students asem omum pese ye beboa nkwala ewo tertiary institutions omo anya ade nke ka oni ade obi wo constitution wo
yeah I can get it
Article 108 of the Constitution B say Parliament shall not and you may not. Parliament shall not, unless the bill is introduced or the motion is introduced by or on behalf of the president, proceed upon a motion, including an amendment to a motion, the effect of which, in the opinion of the person presiding, would be to make provision for any of the purposes specified in paragraph A of this article. Paragraph A, let's say, you don't have to put a charge on the consolidated funds. And you know you're buying. In the say Parliament need to be a crampo say about discussing motion. Ebi actually no the charge to consolidated fund and I say share the inko is consolidated fund mo enye bibi adjust sa motion no and I say embrace sa bill no it's laid on behalf of the president. Yewura Ayarga, he wasn't speaking on behalf of the president. Asamo kan ya sempa papa, he wasn't speaking on behalf of the president. He was not moving that motion on behalf of the president. In fact, it's labeled as private members' motion. It is a parliament. Ejitum na yesu yedina so to abaye ya enyi itiamra. Mbra no simple. Who here kasa 3 hours? Okay. The question there by and they are not me trim and say mra ho asem ne ka court.
Mate, Kojo, I'll come to you in a moment. My main colleague on the other side, lawyer Sami Jenfi, Sami Akwaba, as I say, when you are betrayed, Bibi Aboko there.
Obi, when you made the chain.
Yeah, then Yamia say. And Yamiadum in Kakankakra, Yamiadum. But also share proceedings across war court. Argument by any ruling a free bench or a buyer. ne kwan so ano no ana mo still am more reservations.
Oh, minua me da so menchia atiefu nyina menchia minua kwadwo so. Obi asem de wo de koto court ani na court udi a ansa na court bedi na wabua asem na wie no nsem kiti bebeti ni pp mu a ehun ko hia se court no ebedi sansem so no ne fa no interlocutory matters no enye the
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Issues are up in the course of the hearing of the matter. Na enye sanse ni na studio ebeko yama bi wo ha court no ebeje wade frede a wode akoto nanim no atu this wo court no enso and the court is entitled to disagree with you and say wade frede a wode ababeto yanim die na onya adwen ye gitumu a eneye nti yabogu. And to that extent we don't begrudge the justices of the Supreme Court and they were omatemu no moka say ya this ready idea about to manim no omunso nemum yakase de ye ne omonya ade isan say wo hwe de omugina so edit take his decision na clearly no we don't think that reflected the facts and the evidence that the court is seized with. Now, my church, we be say ebisadia e de court no enim no kwa na ye den. Obi, ye na yes report ni na na say yaba court. Ye challenge
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Declaration of the returning officer for the 2020 presidential elections. Mame G Mensa. Sa declaration na wakase omampinye kufuado na rene 2020 abatwa ene Ghana yemra kunini no ebobra specifically article 63 because where figures what declaration na nkasa mu a bibia chere ana figures ne chere se omampinye kufuado wenya emapapa no dodo no emu ohamu chichemu odu no liache that is more than 50% of the total valid votes in the no manson ye dia koto court na nimu a ye twen.
Okay, same me bacho same home so home me wo se kojo ekọ back to chamber inti ma me ne no no like me ne nwie no nko na ye nto aso kojo me bacho wo ho.
Yeah, me was.
Aha, anyway ye be jaiwa ma wakọ na mse wo se okokodi dwumenti nyame yadomo a Friday and yes I back to court. Ade a petitioners no I indicate say omo one other witness be on person mo de ne ba baby a ebe in camera any ade e ba as a surprise to man as na mo ya aware that na yenya
no me sure say petitioners na kasa petitioners as mo ma kan say omo 5 witnesses are on be dia dance approve say obi enya 50% omo free 2 and then semite dia yenu yapani chatuti katakaya omo one witness bia omo bepe say enka omo ne bench ni bidin komo in chambers because there are medical issues no omo call them kodi unkomo no san komo no yem fento abontin but that is what they've said so far as to the next steps ne there say yenina in fairness no omo ntre the next steps no tie be hwe nim say Friday e ba no omo kire say bia sa one no ombe fani say na fi two na ka no mind say na omukulusi case na there was a yes you to me the fa ho ya ni say ana ni say inti
okay
him kwaya ombe fa so aye sa you know from Friday.
Fantastic. Kojo me ya nase bibia ne yebesa ba bedi nkomo bi why ya da se pa nyame sha inti kojo pon kroma ene ya training kan ono ye one of the spokespersons for the second respondent na nado dan kwa Akufo-Addo yensaimra back one of the spokespersons for the petitioner lawyer Sameja Fisame we dey mesel na watu aso amaye inti na wo man ya de krontia mo court in the first place.
Yeah, obi me that. So ye court to say asemo ye dia be
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Efa figures easy for through omo band deni Jimensa ankasa di tubia in her declaration of the 2020 presidential results on 9 December 2020. Na so has somewhere the other 2 million, which is a petition. Now we are dance here. Ya dance for abidi na easy for a dance for so e dia ba court e drew almost so a court no be adopt as the evidence check na. It shows clearly that figures na ye can want them. E figures different figures. Because on 9 December the Mensa a declare results no. O can say the total valid votes and no gina so Eka say Omanpenya Kufuor Abedin Kunin in the 2020 presidential election at 13,434,574. But at the exchange, or the figure for 4 by 13,119,460. In fact, in that same press release or the ban at the year, was also the
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
13,433,573. So, ABM Omoba court, you declare almost figures when a Mujina so a declares on to Wadu Arena. Oh, 13,121,111. Because at any given point in time, no, G Mensa returning officer for the 2020 presidential election of Sanano. And we see documents are original for the different figures you are being in hand. Say any quarter, you know, you bet me the year one. And you're better than a quarter of you. Say your Canadian crown, and answer. Oh, a documents way
Asempa FM.
Original for the INA declaration. And we see, yeah, in the interest of fair hearing. So the bear attention in the periphery of the argument. Now, because they say about court to say no crane here. Yeah, best record and say. Almost share electoral commission. Then Kata Omegina so Ediayo Mutation and declaration.
Ekosiisen on
So
Asempa
man, you
FM.
on the rainy 2020 about what? Almost some that court keke. Obi, any some document and emre you. Na ye yan find a case. There be Fabra court na ye inspect. Say Fabra court. Na yan find ye nipo tie every na ye hu say kan Kata na wujina so the year wojuma. Edim ewo mrema na enim eye authentic and authentic. Say yeah na go declaration here just one declaration there. Obi nka yen timi mfa at the ready way enkoto court na nim. Because any why one declaration documents we jina so dey no political parties are not your agents yen na you. I just say bia ya pamu agent and a DVC into agent na. So in that case, you know, you will have to request for documentation with respect to those specific politicians. If there is one declaration, na mamena ye ne kan hwasema. Ye obi e do request we. But why one declaration? After that, or the press release about or the different figures about. Not only the total valid votes is different from the declare about. And ma what the ma o
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
And Ura John Mahama in her declaration of 9 December was a sano at the Mafo Fraba sense. Oba court or the Mafo Fraba beam. And Manu de Dia Effa. So that different figures now or they ban. Nefaten Nebian. Documents by the original so the Abba. Yeah, you need. Because all your sounds such as I didn't know, they don't need any year. I don't want to share the office and I could come. Yes, it's ye documents with it. Senebaya, a seminal Mulu Krebeba, Pere on the attention in Bayajuma. Court on show. Did you cry across a court on show when I say? My idea is, say, you be easy for now. Or would you be Jenny or Kakra bed at the documents in the Bemaya? And it is as far back as 19 January, Obi, not the date, 19 January, weeks ago. And here come on, so move on my way there. I got your friend mutual discoveries. They say, a lawyer for Naya, yen share documents, we know yen see documents are easy for what you do. mujina so cast man pinye kukwado are
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Oma nfa anu ye bi amaye ene ye se ne ye be court no ne yakosoro of the show no bi ye ka ne se utimu sita siamwa enku yakoto abatu yi nti for mo na mo share so mo na mo conduct here mo say o man pinye kukwado na re ne e ben ya kwan mo fa so hu say o man pinye kukwado na re ne na ejina bibi so ejina nkrata about one nkrata so from polling station constituency regional and then national forms are mo de collect votes no eno na mo ejina so aka nti say obi e bi sound say manesa me ni keke every sa documents na me make sure say bibia you okay ha obi say wonye bibi boni bia na woni bibia wo di sia enka wonpo na wo di ani gie ene ahokeka kese e this ankata neba because who say the documents will vindicate your position say with declaration na why ya wo so man penye kukwado are ne e ho kroje
basame me pacho me kai say the last time I was studio o church mo petition ni mo no kan say one of the exhibits attached to petition no EC Ankasa website constituency summary coalition sheet omudi gu ho for all constituencies ni nyina ewo ho mo amafa akeka bom enya number bi no crack a numbers amonso mo de call court no eho inti this thing about transparency no ifrin because the documents are already on their website.
Let me explain that part. Man kasa ye the 275 summary sheets no aka ye petition.
No kasa mo dey calculation.
Yes, ye dey spreadsheet.
Yes.
And in the spreadsheet no ye dey calculation say based on the website no okay kabom wa dey win you. That summary sheet dey yam fan taxi bibia amfamba. In fact, it was only 11 of those summary sheets. And yeah, they are asking a petition, no? That is in reference to paragraph 31 of our petition, Exhibit E.
Yes.
And over a series of Adam Secretary, no? Yeah, they are asking as Exhibit C. But Exhibit C, no? Court, no? HM was striking it out, about to actually. And they say, sir, Exhibit is difficult to make reference to. So you only what is before the court is a spreadsheet. The summary sheets are not there. Now, I don't amount for summary sheets from website and Yama. Obi, there are so many cases. Yeah, documents are your one. When you compare the issue for the actual website, Greater Accra, yeah, agents are what strong group. Document what the Mao as Greater Accra regional summary sheet. And then they will each website any different. For Eastern region, in court, which is as the D to General Mosquito witness it, but will let it be or the former Mami Jimensa on the 9th of July.
Yes.
That exhibit shows two results, regional results. For one region, Eastern region. Our results, you don't know, Ebuebra. Now, how do you know which of these results the EC is relying on as far as their declaration that the Kufuado one is concerned? You can never tell. You don't know. Unless they tell you, say, okay, these are two, but this is the authentic one we used. Obi.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Documents are moving on the crown. Mu oni nyina obi egesa no moka.
No, in fact, enyesa mu oni nyina almost say mu witnesses under oath. Ejitu mu say mu copies of all the documents.
Yes, let me say entro.
Entro say.
Ye witness bianca sa. Obi si abote. O kai nra. Owura pesa why. Na dance ya wodi. Form bi hu ba asem. Your friend
Asempa FM
13. So okay. Justice Amenuvo, lawyer for Electoral Commission, a person, and called this our form, Ebetre, Dr. Kwesawai. Yet, or the training book. Now, Obe Tunano, and lawyer Katuji Kataka say, Ube to me the train to Tunano. as a person will call into details there. Yeah, because that document, court me yan to say a dance here. So it is not in evidence yet. But after that, yeah, me judge about me money due for certain reasons. Before and post is ended, the mother kaya offer the same from 30. You come from 30
Ekosiisen on Asempa
that is the
FM.
form one at the National Coalition Center Ewon Klein. The results from all the 16 regions never near Kikabumua.
Asempa FM.
Ye threat to na ye wia ya kekabum ehu the way this first the way second na agents ni na fine. That is the form. I don't your friend from 13. Now that form no easy for the dia back court e ma mi dimensa e na ode attack na dance kata ye nyanyi mu yet but ode attack e ya sa from 13 na no aye ma me judge no e de kire Dr. Kwesa White NDC dance na jo mama dance ni there boss share sa kata na hwe say baby wo wa signature wa pesa wo be sign wo be kire se wo be that no demand Dr. Kwesa White no Dr. Kwesa White say my lord you move from way and from 13 because I was about to amra ye the year 2020 a public election regulation CI 127 2020 from 13 woman amra ne se no
on Asempa FM.
enye no ni na owura Kwesa White class so kire mu say start from 13 year mami jimensa dia court John Mama agents was strong. Omani could say, "Ehu da." Into Omunibi because according to EC, Dr. Kwesa White, any Rojo Metununu, if we strong room based on instruction, na Jimensa the returning officer, the Ama or Omungo who John Mama didn't do it. Omu free one, and Jimensa for fast out from 13 by and a peka. Tempa young people about different figures in jail almost failures after 13. And according to Dr. Kwesa White's evidence, they never saw from 13, they were never presented with it. And so how can anybody say we have from 30?
No, but the point is
we don't have it.
Sammy, from 13, no, is it the case, sir? Mono na mo agent no any strong room at the time into one sign and now say from 13 na Supreme Court justice now we can edit train no a fake which is which
mother me can fake and I be there me dey maka so you gonna me
no so say okay say
no
also okay say and no nya from 13 na and ade away who be that no. Well, how would he know, sir? Yeah, when you see the word fake, that's fine.
This is not from 13. CI 127, which is Public Election Regulation 2020. No, Akase, from 13.
Yeah, me was CI in Ibiwaha, and what was his basis for saying he said no, you're from 13?
Obi, because if you check that CI, the form there is not what the judge showed you.
How?
So now the one form now a kita judge.
No, it is it is now
you can't even confirm the truth. So
no, but have you seen it? Have you seen it? One kasa
Obi. Me lawyer certificate. I'm not the one conducting this case. So the member court and I spoke first and come one. That form no and once a member court. I grow up here. You two me come to if you ain't meaning dole. Ebo nyame empire, e be a daughter.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Course examination baso. Ghana need ya pemre na one ship.
Yeah, but me substantive question has not been answered. My question was Tobo Same. My musa me question be for clarity.
Tobo. Now, ube question no my answer. I am saying what they make any na me say. Almost you didn't have to make this application the easy form for documents or more the year Jumano. Dear coalition, Agina so they declare some opinion to what we're in. Maybe think about this or more say or more family inspected because that documents no one in happy. Is that not the NPP's argument? And in fact, is that not the ratio dividend of the ruling the court gives? That we have all the documents.
Because
and we have not demonstrated that we don't have any.
The respondents in their argument in opposition they can say under cross-examination, more witnesses are say more all the copies of the document.
It is not true.
And your lead counsel did not rebut that claim.
It is not true.
But there was no rebuttal from your camp.
No, those things are not points of law. Obetnya rebut only on points of law. But when somebody makes a statement which is factually incorrect, because the court is a house of records, you expect that the judges will lose the work and you're not correct.
Yeah, but Oka said no yet point of law.
When you ask the question, let me finish the answer. Just we'll be going around in circles. This issue, an argument arising in it. The issue is fair. What's the documents now you're requesting for Ninano? We have it. And that witnesses say we have all. There is no witness of the NDC. We have all the documents. All the questions are Mr. General Mosquito to Dr. Kwesa White related to specific documents at the police station level. Your agent is supposed to sign. And take a copy.
Yes.
2 or 4 of the yes.
Yes.
Near beside the constituency. Near beside the region. That man, what is it? Yeah, beside your witness, be say on national resource declaration form, which is form 13. I say yes, I have it.
In more request,
Dr. Kwesa White was clear that only Rojo Metununu were not presented without form. They have not seen the form before. They were not even given an option because as at the time they were leaving the strong room, that form had not even been filled. And I think, Obi, you heard this evidence. True or false?
Sami, that evident I heard. But me question me busane say Uji Tumu say from the polling station, no more witnesses neka say yes, we have it. Why then in your request did you not request just for Form 13?
So Obi, let's not confuse.
No, Aden, I'm requesting for all those forms when you had them.
We asked for state documents. The argument is that, or the reason their lordships refuse that request is that you have all the documents and you have not shown that you don't have any. I am saying that Form 13 was one of the documents that you decide say family inspected, if you family inspected. Have form or no? Be. And there is no evidence before the court to say you will be. And nobody can even suggest to say you will be. Because MPP for the easy for you didn't say. Let's have form or no. Now in this before you will be. If you are feeling be, you are sign be. If you are better be. Okay, this is very simple. So, with regards to that specific form from 13, it is not correct to say, NDC for would be.
Okay, until now, answer my question.
Let's go to the other forms, which is the polling station.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
That is the pink sheet, the constituency summary result sheet.
Yes.
Then the regional,
summary result sheet. Yes.
Yes. Obi. Baby, I know your agents will be here. And in fact, you dance here and we had agents in all the police stations. BBA also taught in the your agents, is expected to have that document. Because that is the law. 1 year, let's say 1 year, you may use. So it is good, it is right to presume that the NDC has those documents. But our documents, and the dimension, and on the other collation, constituency level between 7th and 9th December.
Yes.
And on the other collation, our regional level between 7th and 9th Mebwa. And on the other collation, our national level between 7th and 9th Obi Mebwa. And in our view, is significant so they are the 9th December declaration. So with respect to that, we have it. But after that, Obi.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
December, if you need the new figures about for John Mahama, or the new figures about for Mampenya Kufuor, or the new total valid rules about, based on what documents? When they were doing that thing, we were not part. So how can we have the documents that they use for those updates? Again, in court, they bring another figure. Unless people are suggesting that the EC is just conjuring these figures, and that those figures, those new figures, are not based on some documentation. And we are saying that the documentations are EC needs so the updated figures and then away or another figure back. Those ones we don't have. That is why another document we asked for it. The documentation or updates. It is a 10 December. Over the sound of Mahama. Over the sound of Mampenya Kufuor. Did you get another regional collating sheet which was different from what you used on the 9th? We can never tell.
But to make a convincing argument in that regard, Nesame, why don't you tell the court, say, your lordships, for ye as petitioners, no, based on sheets, document from polling station up, yakikaya di nyina bomu a figure yenyeni. Hold on. Sammy, hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. Yakikaya di nyina bomu a figure yenyeni. Easy dia wenyeni, and we're changing the figures by 3 times. Adentina easy based on which document? Then you give the court a compelling reason. No?
And when they are you are going into the trial. That one the court will say that there are issues of evidence. And you're not in a court to be for the documents and what the point that but I will answer that question because meaning say is one questioner. We've had a justice of the Supreme Court ask. It was also asked the so your certificate give an answer, and I hear people asking that question in the yes, I'll deal with that question. But let me finish an application. I am saying that say if you know from 13 they are clear that the NDC doesn't have it. So what do you need more respectfully? We think the court got it wrong when it said that we have that document. Because the evidence before the court shows clearly that we don't have it. And there is no way we can have that document. So if you have Maya, then it becomes a problem. But the other form related
but it is part of the ratio that's a die of the court. And and it goes into record.
And I said court so when you can as a law unless you want to apply for review.
Yes, but that's the point I'm making, sir. If it is not a matter of fact, not say a forming part of the court's ruling. You say you don't want to do anything about it?
I think that I was there adopt two lawyers for petitioners on Nibia, personal assistant to Chatuchikatana. Because you see, when the court makes a ruling like this, you need to go and study the ruling. Now, it is very clear from where we stand, even now, say that was an error. But it was an error of fact, you see. And
your error of law.
Whether that can be a ground for review for you to come back to the court and say, respectfully, your lordship, we think that this one maybe you erred, and that with evidence a woman in the form 13, you know, the lawyers will weigh the options and see whether here at this stage is there a few courts to whether our lawyers are even thinking of that option. I will not know. But Obi our follow
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
With regards to from 13
Asempa FM.
And not there. Nobody, not even the EC can, because EC for the year and MPV for the panel this is good. It's document. So this whole issue about who cannot apply to Form 13 with all due respect. But Obi, the other forms, so like I say, if the declaration or the figures we are talking about was just one, then NDC, the polling station sheet and the constituency submission, then we don't have a case. But if the figures are changing, and now the new figure, my media base, regional collating sheets are, there is nothing wrong asking the court to say. The base documents are, if you need so they are
But based on what Nawoka say, Munim source document or dinya figure no. Based on what?
You have used a set of documentation to generate one figure. One announcing now, I want to know way.
Yes.
No man way. At the exchange, and all the figures for Frabra. So unless somebody suggests to say figures for now, they buy no book now. Okay, time.
No, but the point is, they still insist that new figures near from the same source document. How do you prove saying you're not correct?
That is what lawyer Petition said that in the Mensah's witness statement, she has not explained those differences. There is no reference to the 10th December press release. We're explaining how they came by those figures.
So confront her in the witness box. You don't need to request for documents.
Hold on. That time it will be too late for you to know. So the documents on the Ejumano. If you have not inspected it, how can you cross-examine her on it? They say Eastern region results.
That one was explained. So the original and I said the one they used was the second one Amumu agent sign because they added one constituency result to it.
For the cross-examination of certificate, and then you will see whether that accounts. But me the master say, almost say, in court, in fact, in the Mensah witness statement, which of those two documents they use for the declaration? Time one justice a maneuver. Cross-examine, I say do it. And now, Bakubina, I used to have results from Kaho. They are chilling and no buy and nobody be chilling. But can you just take him at his word without going to see the document and compare with a Yensuano original or what to know that they all can yampa? So, Obi, we believe that number one, the point is that NDC for a war in Qatar almost the easy for the was not accurate. We don't have the base document for the changing fee. And so respectfully, we think that because we are all in court to make sure justice is served, the truth is upheld. No? We believe that if the EC had nothing to hide, and if I can say we can check home answer, a BM from 13, it is clear we don't have. Now, maybe they need to be somebody say Obi.
Same for Mami Musa question we na to aso. From 13 said the waka no say munibi. There were some regional results. It is also a fact, at least, about up in cross-examination. Say mo agent and what strong room honor certified those regional results. Now Eastern region the aneka homeboa.
No, Eastern region no.
In the three regions now one certified, Western, North, and at the end.
I don't have an offer. I will have to check the documentation.
Do you know for a fact, sir, Eastern region the other one certified? Do you know for a fact?
I will have to check and confirm. I can check and get you because okay 12. In fact, one time even 13. Okay, say man sign according to Eastern he signed 13, but according to Professor White he signed 12. So the young sign here 4. I can quickly check and maybe later.
And they check and let's have that.
But maybe point I'm making is Obi. We thought that in the interest of justice, because the nature of this case, is very different from the 2013 one. Because in 2013 we didn't have changing figures. Here you are having changing figures, and so for the court itself to know which of these figures are correct and whether those figures are actually based on regional coalition forms constituency coalition forms are a I just how original number court. If you force more now, map preserve. Wow, we person to be a bisa. Now will be.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Now, since I'm told you about East office, almost you may declare about. Most of my opinion could arena. Can you show us your 16 regional coalition forms? We are in the spirit of transparency. Because easy for Omumoto.
16 regional coalition forms, they say no more in Nebi.
Easy Omumoto, integrity, fairness, and transparency. Are you getting me? Now, 16 summary sheet when you're born here. Factory and keke. When you're a family, factory me keke. Na me family say be the other person. Say we do when you be pad la lie.
No, the 16 regional sheet there no most will be. They also will be form 13
to the first declaration. But the step Obi hold on no. Mame no at the national level, Jimensa is supposed to do on the national level only forms na regional level no call it. But 16 it wakeka 16 in Abu. Wama John Mahama this vote. Wama Mampenye Kufuado that. Adia say no. Waba be stand John Mahama vote. Waba be stand Mampenye Kufuado vote. Then the assumption is that the regional coalition seats now will use 2 years the year first yes no. In such a that is why John Mahama near Kufuado vote as a sack. That's what we are saying. And it's in such a na abdominal. Yeah, or yes, I'm such a one saying you do be. Yeah, baby, documents are which now so the IS.
Yeah, but if you have doubts about which document they used that. It is for you to prove. It is not for the EC to come and to come and prove. Into the Supreme Court. No, hold on. The Supreme Court raised that issue about the burden of proof.
Don't misquote them. It was a lawyer for the second respondent and the first respondent, and we raised the issues of burden of proof. Saying we must prove it, which is a very flawed legal argument. Because burden of proof. Why would they want to send back court to know burden of proof? There are so many rules about burden of proof. But the lawyer that you can't, you don't lose that stage. If the court already on judgment by no man can burden of proof once. Or man can say, yeah, more for documents anymore because more NDC for more the burden of proof. The court didn't see that. They base their decision on 2 things. That all these documents, by law, you have them.
And necessity.
Why we disagree with them? Because we don't have Form 13 and we don't have the documents if the any new figures at police station constituency and regional level. We don't have the documents they use for those new figures. And that is why we ask. Secondly, they said necessity. They are not convinced to say those things are necessary. That's who we disagree. Because Obi, this case is a contestation over figures. Whether or not candidate Kufuado is also winning about more than 50% of the total valid votes. Therefore, the court will necessarily have to ascertain the correct total valid votes. Especially when we have different ones easy for Nadia but conflicting ones. The votes are Omanpenye Kufuado and we have seen the easy changes. In fact, Omanpenye Kufuado percentage is in Guano. Easy for the 4 and back. How do you ascertain which one is correct? So, in such a case, the nature has to do with figures and conflicting figures. How can anybody say for the easier hormonal embryo say that document original in our hormone? Hormone first our original embryo court. Now, what funny now the court, figures power so they will declaration. Because a wound here. And yet here. How can you resolve this issue, which is a conflict over figures, their accuracy and all that, without those documents?
But the point is, how would those documents help in the adjudication of this matter? How?
It will help in the adjudication of this matter because Obi, right now, if
yes,
total valid votes not only any document to support to say total valid votes without those documents, how would the court know that the Mamene can be correct?
But the point is
because those documents are not in evidence. So how would the court even come to the conclusion that any of the 5 different figures now when they are correct? Because figures, that figure, correct figure must be based on correct regional collation form, correct constituency collation form, and all that. Obi, Some forms how would the court?
If the EC argues, say, total valid voter, they say answer to the petition name, and not any final total valid vote cast.
How will anybody?
Because
you see, we should not even accept what is in your own press statement of the 10th.
No, the American say. Since you various scenarios, the American say, if the EC decides to go with the more answer to the petition name as the total valid vote caster, what will be the issue in dispute before the court?
Even if they decide to go with that, how will you know that what they are telling you is true?
But who will prove said you're more
document? On the basis of what document did they get that figure?
That is not an issue. Is it an issue? Because Momeka say, the number when you've not said that. So how is it in dispute?
For that to be an issue. The whole petition is about the validity or the accuracy of those figures. That is why if you look at the issues that court not setting it down for determination now, or say whether or not I think it should say also whether or not the figures in the declaration of 9 December 2020, the second respondent attained more than 50% of the total valid votes in line with that.
Yes.
So it's about figures. Figures are in dispute. So if the base documents are easy for us to say, or generated figures are not before you, how will you even know, say, this figure is based on facts and it's based on the truth? So this issue about it is not necessary. In Qatar, so it is taking that decision is on our winning. Of course, I would say necessary. And you're necessary.
On case any necessary, or say more apply, Moon prove why it necessary say or so modeba. And that is the government of the issue.
Is it that's what they have said? But our disagreement is this whole case is about figures.
Yeah, but the court has not said they would need those documents to prove whether the figures are right or not.
And I am just asking you a simple question in the man or ask. This is a simple, with all due respect, a common sense question. There are disputes about figures. Which is which? Figures from one source. The same is bringing different conflicting figures. Mr. Ebeye saying the one which of the figures are correct without the base documents from which those figures were generated. How? For somebody to say that those documents are not necessary?
Yeah, but the point is, the petitioner is not challenging the authenticity of base document, and that is the thrust of this issue. You are not challenging the authenticity of document, for which reason you say the figures thereof not flawed.
Obi, we are challenging the authenticity of figures.
Yes,
the figures are based on documents.
Yes.
So the right documents will have to be ascertained before we know which figure is authentic. You cannot ascertain or determine figures different number. The papa, accurate. I just when you have documents, you can't.
Enti monsomo document no meba
o. Declaration is just one. Yeah. Then will be a quack of a document. But yet ya de ba ko. Ye wie no. Is in different ones yaba. So can't we ask the East to say documents that would so yeah different ones no? FM. And you tell me that is not necessary?
But the point necessary.
Important question. I don't want us to belabor this. Can I answer that important question?
No.
The question about Muhammad for the figures are mad. Can Muhammad the figures by a dia?
Yeah.
Then you can let me deal with that issue.
Yeah.
Obi. Your answer question is I don't know why people are not getting it. But I know people will get it when Jimensa is cross-examined. Because you see, on the case, you used to witness statements. So, and Adam for man for man no any dear dance. In the man dance any debris or craft also. One check the moon where we are won't say na dance and say papa.
Yes.
And it is when counsel is cross-examining and Osini put the case across. It means say the cross-examination of lawyer Kutuan power. I can say that this is the case of the petitioner. Are you getting me? Because we are lawyer go to ampower. Once examination questions I will ask it, I put it to you. I suggest it to you now. Then you know, this is their case. And when people listen to certificate course examination, then they will know, I mean, with more clarity, what our case is. Because it's different when the thing is in writing, and when the thing is in writing, it's sometimes different when people are vocalizing it and explaining it. But let me show you something. The entire that issue say, more figures when in this will be a bisa. Obi, young to say you say about what instance on swa, Mammy G Mensa, editu Ghana, and you're correct because you figure 100 or no dear 1,000, and you have some way the court to know. Say you have some way the court to know dear, and yet necessarily. And what you catch the course on, you figures, anybody, you figures in the field. You can't say, on only figure 100, by a few pay near 1,000, you don't know the end of it. Yes, let's say. Catibia, the California, and when you're the men are not returning officer, or Namra say, or no one was okay figures in the boom. Now what they back, final results in the back, or no Diano and a Yambra. Why, yeah. What ya ba 9 December we declare we know was also iron and mra we enacted into law CI 135 was also what gas
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM
ya fa on one kasa na no asem no on one kasa ni declaration figures na ewu mu no yes say ya the figures no bu konta na de ye adwuma on one figures na kire say Omampenya Kufuado and Rene 20 abattoir. Because on one figures lecture say Omampenya Kufuado one cross more than 50% of the total valuables. And not 70%. Me prove that same way I media court anymore.
FM.
Maybe figures are me calculating in China there. And mum, na figures na me say. That figures no use to express or Mampenya Kufuado. One way no. And no one was used to be proven the case. I cannot go and bring Miami figures to come and prove say Mamina Kasa declaration, you know, per that on Mampenya Kufuado. I was saying used to Mamina Kasa declaration figures a womb. Now me show some Mammy. Some me the Miami figures part on chain. Now me the wow the no ebu kontana or Mampenya Kufuado one way. That is our case. So the first point is that the nature of our case is irrelevant. And who is near say, near me the figures about court to Obia the Assembly Court Obi. You need evidence to prove your case. You don't need evidence to satisfy, you know, whatever interest. Who has the case now with the court to prove it? In many cases, I'm a court and say, why a declaration? One Amran say, what's a declaration? The Awobe can I know name right when you're the Juma. Figures are a what declaration. You boom contana, what you boo yana, the Enyano, a the fofro. And so the fofro is say, or my Pinoku Quadwan, I mean it. It is a meditation we are for court. Now the copa one dance yaba. Name figures are me and intended and no ya dance here. Maybe a woo figures, no. Analysis are my woman and no name a dance here to prove that case. Then number 2, Obi, I want to tell you, say, in the circumstances we find ourselves in, Obi you are, say what ye eat, say what ye dimension, say what ye court, say what ye lawyer, say what ye political party. On one kasa bit in your
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
On one kasa you coalition. Na ni figure ni na sa figure no correct. Nobody can say that. And I will explain that to you. See Obi, we a political party, and now we a judge, and now we a lawyer. Now say what we coalition. What did they say? And you either say, Ube you police station, and how do I walk down in a pink sheet?
Yes.
And now you see constituencies that work on the constituency summary sheet and I'm a boy. pink sheet and the summary sheet too. And a young kasa ye kaya wo kasa. And from why you move because over pink sheet back one. And ma yama 12 presidential candidates no kika bomwa. Ebi a wunya 900. But over pink sheet in the sono, yes 800. So patently that figure is wrong. That is why our petition speaks about wrong aggregation of total valid votes. So, what was the way of coalition? What the wrong figure in the way of coalition? And now what the change? One case on
Asempa FM.
Now one case what the figure correct. Now what are you coalition? Or you will use figures that on the face of the record are patently flawed and riddled with arithmetic errors. Petition South example is key course. Okay, general course examination now. Lawyer Kutampa, yeah. Okay, the Petition South summary sheet. The total valid votes are a summary sheet, no, so no. 97,227.
Okay.
But Lawyer Kutampa can say, can't figure it wrong. Because of the votes now, you have 12 candidates in the Bomo Techimaya. We have 99,436. Okay. Into also 99,436. Then Professor Kote, Justice of the Supreme Court, says, my counsel, then you're only assuming. How will you know which of these two figures are correct? You're only assuming. So in such a case, so what your national collation would do, Techiman South, which figure will you use the total valid vote for Techiman South for your collation? Will you use 97,227 or 99,436?
Asempa FM.
This is just one example of many of such cases where on the face of the pink sheet and on the face of the summary sheet, the figures recorded there are wrong.
On Asempa FM.
So how can you use wrong figures for a collation and get a correct figure? You will also be misleading the court. Okay? Thank you. Collation no more can be figures by court. Put in the calculation power justice and maneuver Becca. My lord, the petitioner is approbating and reprobating. In one breath, the petitioner says that the pink sheets of various polling stations and the constituency summary sheets of some constituencies are riddled with errors. The total valid votes captured on those forms are wrong. Yet, in another breath, the petitioner has used those same wrong figures for his collation, which they are urging on the court to adopt. Take away the again. How can you say in one breath that the documents are ECD Eduma polling station constituency they break and from one was now the town the non resolve was to do any audit or inquiry. Was a media made the wrong figures for your collation and expect to get a correct outcome and feed the court and the public without FM. So on the basis of these two arguments, that first of all, so assembly you come court to and what say you dance here but support it, man. We are not required and we answer your figures member to show say Pegiments and Casa declaration, the figures in that declaration, actually that's what I'm thinking what we just need that declaration. Any figures are or no events and at different times to prove that. Figures are irrelevant. Number two, your collation they said and I believe other political parties have done it. Our figures will also be wrong. Because documents are collation, many of them contain patently flawed figures. So not even the EC can say, that is our case, that on the basis of wrong figures, your global figure is correct. It is not possible. Because
but one of the issues, and it's patent errors now I'm identifying. How much impact will those errors have on the overall results? One of the issues. So
yes, but I'm trying to tell you that we are talking. In fact, the impact has to do with padding. not the accuracy of the total valid vote. If we are talking about issues that is in a certain out now, to be precise, that's it. But my point is the same. So are you going to also give a figure to the court? Say, my lord, per our own collation, the total valid vote is 14 million, blah, blah, blah. But this figure no, is very accurate because documents here, they the man. Don't say mistakes. That evidence, therefore, will have no probative value because that evidence ab initio is discredited. Because that evidence, collated figures, by your own admission, you use wrong figures for that collation. That is why it would have been a useless exercise for the NDC to have done. Because how can you use figures as any papa? Nobody care about. Now I can't continue course. I can say, "Nike kabo ni de niya ene de papa." I mean, gabe down.
Same, we have to be bringing this interview to a close. My final question, I may be now.
Let me take this small point.
Briefly.
Another thing about this argument of we figure
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
MPP for any binum than the dual profile. The hypocrisy and the double standard, I cannot fathom. Obi, you Kromwa, and MPP for the election petition called Supreme Court, the year 2012 to 2013.
Asempa FM.
The part in that petition, the witness statements which came, evidence and all that, the hearing, the whole everything, MPP for petition on the coin. What say the woman that say MPP for say, my lord, you collated figure and a easy so MPP for the Omo collated figure for court in that case. No, they didn't. The Omo yeah understand. Easy for figures are not a return a declare of fire and over the court. And I'm saying, my lord, you who say police issues way over vote TSC. I have presiding officer one sign sheet. I have sheet, serial number no abam police station code you. It's only irregularities and infractions. It's a moon to chat and ma and what's our police stations nimu. Namu to tell we are mountain free easy figures nimu. Nadia Mubenyano. Munina Sonka Mampenya Kupadwa. That was their case. They never sent their own collated figures to court. So where from this animal court, where are your own collated figures? When the MPP went to court in 2013, did they go to court with their own collated figures? They went to court with evidence, which they felt supported their case. So yet the evidence that support your case. Why we always be asked? And here I'm not referring to what is happening in court. I'm just talking about what is happening in the media.
Asempa FM.
There is no basis even for that question. And I've explained to you that it is not even possible for you to do it. In all honesty, you can't do any true and proper collation.
So my final two questions. Now, the interview na baby. In all of this, would you agree as an officer of the NDC, say for more as party leaders, you lied to your supporters?
Lied to our supporters.
Or you misled your supporters?
What I can tell you is that as a national officer of the party, the behavior dance yourself, ya dino kwe, choro, ene diama ye chitafo. Because I did biara ya kacho mo.
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Yes, wabam. Ya tuviye. Ene, wa dance aba. Echelese ni na. And
only the facts that Mokachro say more collating figures. Now John Mahama won that election. Was that factual?
But that is factual. Who has denied that? Why not actually work this idea now? Why not actually work this?
Based on more coalition. Based on the coalition, John Mahama won.
Let me show you something. Yes, 7. By 5 years, you have to take time. Yeah, Bobo things 8, 9 before the declaration. That time you don't do an audit of results or things and all that. So you do your own aggregation, which is what we call collation, which we did, and we have our own results.
And the result showed that John Mahama won.
Hold on. But after that, and You can even have that as a lawyer. What lawyer? Maybe me who is about the area because me and me and I MPP post in your way.
Ekosiisen on
Asempa lawyer Becca was a coalition now. And that thing here and for why you may not be. Two coalition cannot be correct. Just like each coalition cannot be correct. They also be they do coalition no class on China. If you want a declaration on my and that's what I'm paying you for. Do how on the thing. Tiasia, you have a coalition in because we have coalition now. We don't need it to prove so I'm paying you for. And again, you yourself cannot vouch for its accuracy because documents are what they say you say constituency summary sheet in Movement. And we think that as lawyers, the advice I did now say it is a more viable option to use the EC's own figures to prove to the court and the world that candidate Akufo-Addo doesn't win. Will you still insist and tell your lawyers that if my lawyer meant here, then tell legal advice, because I told my supporters that Yamiko list, I want to send that to court. You elect which course of action to pursue in court based on your legal strategy, based on what you're looking from the court, based on what you think you can prove in law and order. And the Obianiwa, Obetunyaka Senyampa, Namoya Moka NDC and your coalition. Are you in a position to even say that? Do you know what went into this election as far as the NDC is concerned and the kind of things we did? Who are NDC? Therefore, you're fighting it now. I will who did the elections directed here? Who did the IT directed here? If you say, I want your policy figure, you an outsider. Are you even in any position to even say that we have or we don't have? We are telling you we have. But we are telling you that for purposes of what we have sent to court and what we are seeking from the court, it is not relevant. And apart from that, we are telling you that based on documents that if it's for the year, which is the same document, the carbon copy, and yes, you use here, and François Yemima. And so you cannot think that
and sir informs what the na moye mu coalition John Mahama winnie.
Yes, of course.
The informs why you no.
Of course.
And one John Mahama di winnie.
So imagine if we are sent this issue to court. That's what I'm telling you that all those statements about our coalition and calculation we are born. That was not. We have not done an audit of the results, pink sheets and all that. We have not done all those things.
On Asempa.
When you do an audit and you get all those records from the country that you can tell say in Congo. But at that time, 7, 8, 9, 10, what are you going to do? Time many ways are audit. So that one you just added it, and then you said that based on this we have won, which is true. We added the figures from all the constituencies and from all the polling stations. We did. But when you are going to court, and now you have to audit the evidence and make sure that everything you are going to present to support your case is circumstance and will not be undermined to defeat its probative value. Then you have to do an audit.
Same unim ma yemfa ensi akasa che meda se papa pa yebese di nkomo why Same Jemfini Achen Nkano one of the spokespersons for the petitioner in this case. Ekosiisen is the higher Asempa FM 25 minutes after 4. We'll stay on the phone lines a bit yene lawyers from both sides in the petitioner and lawyer di nkomo yene second respondent Michelle Nana Akufo-Addo lawyer Eddie Nkomo. Now let's get the views of an independent private legal practitioner. Ewo ahomane so ne yenhwe ene ono nso eni enkomo enti enra yene ne kasa and for the past 3 days ne yene no edi enkomo Monday enra ena enes nana eje bafo ewo nana eje akwa aba na pom tesen fantastic enti enne mejidi sa utimi monitor the course so ewo Supreme Court the basis for the court's decision no petitioners ne say yes court na kade but they vehemently disagree because Omufri said court no anshada anfa emrano and what the omo edebe to court nenim no anfa nyejuma
me pacho me chair with yafunya
omoje so
obi the decision of Supreme Court decision Asempa FM no matter kwan bi abefa so bia judges ni twa echa. So offer Evidence Act, offer the Public Elections Regulations, offer the rules of court, judges nature. The tea you want to say, Adia utumi the original bia utumi the duplicate and a photocopy here. It is also will duplicate the original who here. Here now, person want the original, person want the duplicate me it is amount original.
Ekosiisen on Asempa
The patriotic say.
Me too.
Once duplicate the there. So person would be baby or quarter fabra. The patriotic chemo.
But omono ka enutie petitioners na omo point and say duplicate now two issues. One, duplicate now omo yes, omo polling station there, omo constituency there, omo region there, but Form 13 a presidential declaration form no, and no at the time is in the ready parties agent no assign no more agent no nti omo ni enobi. Into number one, that blanket statement say omo document ni nyina no enye no kre eno ye number one. Number two, so say Electoral Commission and Casa figures are the two, Jano. The figures have changed in this year. 4 different total valid vote cast figures. And they want to know based on which source document and as our figures, no, changes are.
Okay, Obi.
Asempa
Answer
FM.
to your first question, so we say the decision of the Supreme Court and then they say, "Oh, should the CI now govern elections now?"
Yes.
All the parties are entitled to duplicate.
Absolutely.
Yes. What like kanakoma is for examination, you applied for the original, but you're entitled to the duplicate. So I say, so you're entitled to duplicate. Now we apply for duplicate on Sabeka. But you are applying for the original. Show the or the creation of statutes.
Asempa FM.
Essence the creation of statutes. Now the to me no a statute na de man no. On to me bibia a broad here a brute to me a man was statute in about what I say. And on only the Emrane say what you are entitled to a duplicate. So, have you requested for duplicate now on Sankan? Requesting for duplicate. 2, why, even though you are entitled to the duplicate, right? One trade in here in this particular instance on Sankan. The issue is that who free them all. So it is not the case that the EC denied you. It's not the case that the EC denied you. And to say duplicate now entitled, yeah.
And to meaning say before Sankom file a petition, the Sankom throw to the EC for duplicate of Form 13.
Nobody do duplicate. So, secondly, we say a friend is saying, my many figures, a cost to not a change, they also changing. Meanwhile, who deny say copies of the stock document are figures near the A3. The patron to that.
Okay.
The patron bet me about the tail end of his submissions to the court. I'm with here. He admitted to say the original. And you beside me say
the duplicates.
Duplicate. It is a duplicate now. What the original na day. And also the duplicate the original Obi, a very simple matter.
On Asempa FM.
So who duplicate now figures a difference of the EC figures now, right? Mount a case on it, tender it in court. then the burden will shift to the EC. Right? The burden will shift to the EC for the EC to prove, say, who figures now who can at that point, they will have no choice but to produce those documents.
Oh, okay.
So what I say?
Yes.
Because say who make allegation based on those documents are all no. I say, some documents we
Asempa FM.
You duplicate polling center, coalition center, regional coalition center, and so on and so forth. You can see and I said, how documents in is in the demand. You can see numbers are different from the EC. The part what I say. The numbers are different from the EC. Into say you and no
Ekosiisen on Asempa FM.
Second respondent, so that's why when the election are in so mounting a case on it. Now making available near auditing, not say a yellow cry. You would have discharged the burden on you under Section 11, Section 10, and Section 11 of the Evidence Act. That's what I say. Now, what discharge here? The burden now will shift to the EC to prove that your work cannot and you know correct. And I said your work cannot cry and you know correct by mistake, baby. Then the EC will now be compelled to bring all those documents. So, but so why then you are on a fishing expedition, and no court will grant you an application.
Irrespective of the nature of their case, no, because the route how mumu choose to yes, figures be a court, but they want to depend on the EC's own declaration and the figures thereof. No, that might not have been a good strategy.
No, because Obi, show EC or performing official duty.
Ekosiisen
on Evidence Act anymore. An official duty is there's a rebuttable presumption. So an official duty is deemed to have been performed. So I say,
yes.
So EC is deemed to have regularly performed an official duty. To rebut it, you need to do more. You don't go and rely on their mistakes.
Okay.
What I said.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Until say you bring something to disprove what the EC has put out, or figures, will remain the correct one in law.
But figures, the actual figure. There are now about 3 or 4 different figures. Which one do we use, and how would the EC convince the court say indeed when a final figure based on what?
Nana, me patrol. Me from Nana because
no problem. No
my
problem.
grandfather was able to.
Oh, okay.
Okay. From Nana.
Okay.
Nana, I mean, EC the last figure for the 2 Montano. They're not
Asempa FM.
The 10th December, the one in the response to the petition.
The patrol. You find the one in the response to the petition.
Okay.
Is it different from the 10th December,
yes, there seemed to be a slight difference.
Okay. Now, two. It was being the official figures. Rebutted, you need to do more. Let me tell you something. Go to section 50.
Nana, as a wahoma na fi etwetwa si o minim se we free bibia na wugina initial. Kasana me here. No, it's still bad. It's still bad. It brought back to bibia na wugina na say we free ho there. Yeah, kasana me here. It's terrible. We might have to call you. Me and sign friends is here. And chum mo be hwa sign afre ni bio na yetimi atwa so Ekosiisen so ni higher Asempa 94.7 FM into lawyer Nana Eje Bafo Ewa and no AD and Como Castro Ananu or in Sawim and Wawoda. Happy birthday to you, Castro Ananu. Happy birthday. We say Eja Kujo Ewa Dallas, Texas. So say Obi, indeed wonders will never cease. You told your supporters you won the election and now we didn't win. Which is which? Incompetence galore. Regards to Sampine. Aha, lawyer, Afi, what I mean, fantastic. Yes, indeed, Twaso.
The Article 63, Clause 9 of the Constitution.
FM.
The Patrol.
Yeah, 53.9. In the 53.9 speaks 639.
Yes.
And then I care about the instrument now. Was Electoral Commission. Let me get it and then read specifically, and which instrument will be the prima facie document the person so declared and the president elect. That's it, right?
NDC for no petition ni affidavit in support of petition. A copy of the instrument is exhibited.
That's the instrument now. Electoral Commission passing into law.
Ekosiisen.
That's right.
Okay.
FM.
That is the evidence, is the prima facie evidence of the president-elect. And yet the announcement on TV.
Me too.
The announcement on TV, it appears not to have a legal value. Rather, it's an instrument, and alone it constitutes a prima facie evidence of the president-elect. Now, to be a prima facie evidence in law, right? It simply means, let's break it down, until a contrary evidence emerges, it's taken to be the gospel.
Yes.
There are no figures stated in there. Say press details, say petition A, Anna B. Now, convention or the practice over the years in this country has been that you, in fact, I mentioned the universal case. The Supreme Court position is that the instrument is taken together with the results
Ekosiisen on
declared
Asempa
at
FM.
polling station and related coalition center, right? Until when you put all these together, then you have the figures.
Nana, Ahomana sign assay bio. I think that point near a very important point indeed. Yes.
So the position of the Supreme Court in previous.
Wow. Nana, let me say, I don't know, say new number be or please only producers in Incomo get a better connection. Nafi Yaneno Inue, very, very, very important point. So we have to clear those points. Nafi to me atwa so Ekosiisen suni higher sempa 94.7 FM ebejafono atnase ewa hadada chairman kojobo atnase Samson Eric J abekayensa. May the good Lord heal any witness okay in the ongoing Supreme Court. Okay. Okro Yabua Breman Benin, those messages are about with subtle attacks to people's credibility and reputation. And yeah, please get that straight. Obi, it's obvious the petitioner has a weak case. He should withdraw his weak petition to save his credibility. Sami Jemfi's attempt to pursue their case in the court of public opinion is surprising. Frederick Kuma, all the way in Wassa Ekropon, in the western region. Let me see. Ma mention the other messages we have here. We say a happy birthday to the following individuals: George Sapon, aka Onipenia, author of The Ballot Box; Gideon Boama, personal assistant to Sly Mensa, MP for English, Yamam from. And lastly, to my one and only super awesome good friend in the NDC, who is also a one-time presidential hopeful of the Umbrella Fraternity, Eliklim Agbemeva Esquire. Happy birthday, Sir Obama in Pokwase. Okay. The mamene lawyer Nuyenafi Yemra Emetwaso. Lawyer.
Obi.
Great. Inti Mawanon. Yeah, it's better now.
Okay, so the interpretation that the Supreme Court has rendered to the practice of the EC in terms of how they couch the president-elect instrument as provided for in Article 63, Clause 9, right, is that you take them together with the election results are published at the polling station, right, collected at the collation center, and then a friend is saying, now what you 50% plus one. So it is a challenges we are, which is the prima facie evidence of the president-elect. So you have to bring a counter, or you have to bring numbers we have police station. Now you collect any collation figures from the constituency, any all other results in this particular instance. Your regional coalition centers.
Yeah.
Everyone was the challenging elections. You don't go after what the EC announced on TV.
Even though the announcement on TV, was a written statement, which statement formed the basis for the Gazette. And number be any.
And so, what formed the basis for that is the response at the polling station, constituency coalition center, and the regional coalition center.
Coalition center.
Which figures or which forms all the parties have copied. It is a BDR. Not a man say a mistake no ye keka. Not so distribute say a mistake no ye keke. There is more to it. Produce yours. Also here is what. Also when you're offer marks. So when you can say the AI am say who to 12 for the aquatic penny say I've been.
Wow, that's interesting.
The strategy there's a conscious effort to shift the burden of proof to the EC without producing their documents. That's what I said. And so the answer to the interrogatories, the examination of documents would have had the potential of shifting the burden. So that's it. In view of the principles in the Evidence Act, the rules of court, and the public election regulations, CI, it makes it so difficult to do that. And that is why at each point, they are hitting a snap. They are hitting a block.
Wow. Lawyer, I would love to have continued, but I would have a lengthy discussion some other time. Yeah, that's a power. I mean, sure. Fantastic. Private legal practitioner Nana Ej Bafo Ewa and Moten and Kano Obi. The declaration of December 9th, which was gazetted on December 10th, is the only constitutionally sanctioned declaration made by the EC, reference CI 135. The December 10th press release was not a declaration. The December 10th correction had no impact on the constitutional threshold of more than 50% of the valid vote cast, which informed the December 9th declaration gazetted on December 10th. Abdul Malik Kweku Bako. Messages not endorsed, but I would have to pause here. Do this briefly. Meba Chairman Kojo Boateng Atenase, Eric Ejei and Swatenase would have